knowing that he was going to fall apart.
And so from Erika's point of view, as far as liability, because there's so much talk of like, did she know? Did she not know? Like, is that really the crux of her whole exposure? Like, if Tom transferred all of this to her and she just thought it was, a gift or my loving husband, like, you know what I mean? Is that really the crux of this, or am I just oversimplifying that?
For a lot of people think Erika needs to have knowledge. And by the way, your viewers should know I'm double tasking just for a sec to put the indictment up so everyone gets it, because it just was released. So the double tasking, so everybody knows. If I look distracted, I was just posting something for a sec. But with respect to Erika, her liability is not knowledge. Her liability is, did she receive money and gave no reasonably equivalent value? The answer is yes, because it was all just given to her. And then there's a receivable on the books of Girardi Key. So no, she doesn't get to keep it. It doesn't matter that she didn't know it was stolen. People like get so confused. She goes, I didn't know. Well, it doesn't matter. You saw 115 fraudulent conveyance lawsuits filed. None of those people probably knew either. That's not what fraudulent conveyance means. It means you got other people's money and the trustee can claw it back. You don't get a windfall because you were paid with stolen money. You don't just say, well, I didn't know, so I keep some other person's money. That's not, it doesn't work that way when lawyers are crooks or in Ponzi schemes.
That's why I'm asking some of these basic questions, because I feel like people skip over some of these basic questions and there's so much talk about does she know or does she not know? And I'm like, I don't even think that's really the crux of this whole case.
Definitely with her. Not on the cases against her. On the lawsuit that we filed, it's a fraudulent conveyance case. So not her knowledge is not important.
Now, switching to Tom for a minute with this indictment, because one of my questions I was going to ask you, which I guess maybe is not even valid anymore, people have been asking me for the past few weeks, months, like, why is Tom Girardi not in jail? And I sit here as a fake lawyer who doesn't practice anymore, and I start answering, and I'm like, I have no idea. You need to ask a real lawyer. Well, you are a real lawyer, and here you are. So, why hasn't he been in jail? Was this indictment, was this whole time, were we leading up to this indictment that just came out today?
Well, just because he got indicted doesn't mean that he'll have to sit for trial. I think there's a lot of evidence. He's called me on the phone to talk to me when he knew I was deposing Erika. I've recorded calls with him. He sounds like he is a little bit out of it. I do think he has some dementia, unless he's a genius and put all this together. But the probate court in California appointed a conservator, and if he really can't participate in his defense, there's not going to be a criminal trial. He has to be alive mentally to get charged. And I think there is some evidence that may be true. I just don't know until I see it, so that they'll do probably an evaluation, then we'll know.
That's kind of what I thought the answer was. And you don't think, because listen, that is the argument, that Tom is a mastermind and, one of, a brilliant attorney, despite the fact that he is also a criminal, and put this all together and said to Erika, here are the 50 steps you're going to follow, and we're not going to speak anymore. There's no burner phone. And I'm going to say Alzheimer's. There is that whole argument that Tom is behind this and the Alzheimer's is faked, and that's how he's going to get out of this.
That's correct. That could be true. We just don't know, but I think the feds will find out. But there is a lot of evidence that he has dementia.
There is a lot of evidence that he has dementia.
A lot. There's a lot of evidence he has dementia.
And so, you said there's this receivable on the books, it's not really whether Erika knows or doesn't know, it's fraudulent transfer. It's just whether, so she got the money, right? There's no question in your mind that she has this money.
No question. It's completely proven that she charged $14 million on Amex and got $11 million in payments made. She doesn't have it. Her expenses were paid using her solely owned LLC, EJ Global.
And that's how we get to this 25 million number that everyone's throwing around.
And Gerardi kept good records. It's on the books.
And is that the total of what she apparently received? It is 25 million, or is there other money that we don't really know about that you know of? Or is it, I mean, 25 million is enough. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot. I've never even seen a wife get that much money from somebody. I mean, a lawyer. I mean, she's not Beyonce. That's a big number. I mean, even successful lawyers, that's a huge number to give your wife. It's a lot of money every year. It's like 2 million a year.
It's a lot of money. And so, I mean, then the question goes to like, is this money all gone? Like, where is this money? Was it
It's all
25?
gone. She only has her post-separation earnings.
Wow. So she got it and she blew through it and it's gone.
It was spent on her and she used it and it's gone. Again, I'm trying to be accurate. I don't think she blew through anything. I think he paid all of her expenses and she didn't give any consideration for it. And she's going to have to give some of that money back, no matter how much her lawyer says she didn't know. That's not the issue when it ultimately goes to trial or summary judgment.
So focusing just on the criminal side of things for a minute before we get into the financial, like, I mean, is it, like, is there ever going to be, I mean, are the chances are there's ever going to be an indictment against her? I mean, is there?
Well, she signed a lot of fake tax returns that had bogus expenses. She signed them. I mean, David Lira could cooperate against her. He probably doesn't know much. I deposed Erika. I don't think there was a lot of personal sharing of things between each other. I mean, she wasn't the lawyer. I personally don't believe she'll get criminally charged. I think from my background and work product, I think the IRS is interested in civil remedies. I think she's playing it wrong. I think if she started giving some money back and, made some settlements, she would be less likely to get criminally charged. But I don't think she's going to get, right now, I don't have a belief that she's going to get criminally charged. I don't have any facts to support that.
That's what I've been saying. But again, I completely defer to you, but
She's going to be in lawsuits for 10 years. Eventually, something's going to break. If she doesn't settle, then she'll just get sued.
Right. Like when she talked about it on the show, she had that victory in Chicago. Like, I mean, her legal troubles are far from over.
But there was no victory. Edelson dismissed the case without prejudice and then sued her in California. It was a Pyrrhic victory. It was a fake victory that her PR team put out,
Right.
I mean, look, I have a case against her in LA for a Philip Sheldon, a lawyer in his 80s, and she got out of my case on summary judgment. It's on appeal. But David Lira, I told the judge, he's the one that was really responsible. He's the one that was the signer on the count. He lied to the bank about being a partner, or he was a partner. He lied. He was either truthful to the bank then, or he's lying under oath now. Either way, he lied to a bank or he lied under oath. And I always told everybody, he's the main defendant. He's the one that was responsible for our clients' funds. And now Erika, and I don't believe this guy. I asked his lawyers, you want to stay the case? Because I hear that there's going to be an indictment. And even the judge was like, it looks like there's going to be an indictment. And they were like, no, we're ready to go to trial. He's not going to go to